Okay, right, and welcome to the next Back in Charge Blueprint client success story. And this time we are joined by Paul Leadbitter. So Paul he's currently been through the 12 weeks and continuing work. So we're just going to be finding out about his story, his journey, and how he's actually got on inside the Back in Charge Blueprint. So before we actually get into all of that, I'd like to just pass you over to Paul. Paul, if you can just introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, and what do you do?
Oh, hi. I'm Paul Leadbitter. I'm I live in Bournemouth, and I am a marketing consultant and more increasingly a copywriter as well these days. I've been working for 47 years in total, and most of that in the UK and financial services industry, but also in the last 20 years extensively in Asia. And I'm now back here at home and working as a consultant, and have spent most of the last 10 years or so sat exactly where you're looking at me now without moving very much.
That's it. I think this is the only time I think you've only just moved a little bit. You've moved your seat just slightly for today's call, but apart from that, it's the same room. So nice. So before we get into everything, please, if you are watching, please just let us know you're watching in the comments. Give us a hi. And also, if you've got any questions that you would like to ask Paul about his experience in the program, or if just myself, just any general questions you have about the program or anything in general, please just pop that in the chat box and we can answer them as we go. So, Paul, let's get started. So, I want to remember back a few months. Okay, so before we got started with you. Okay, now what was going on? Like, what was your general, what was your general day like? What was what was the moment? What caused you to get started? Like, what was the reason that you decided finally, like, enough's enough? I need to do something about this.
Well, I don't think it was a specific moment as such, but it was a period, I think, of time. Probably since the arrival of my first grandchild in July 2023. He's 18 months old now, and I had been at the back of my mind for a long time since then that I hadn't, I needed to do something about my general weight and fitness and movement, and I was just getting slower and slower, and I was getting very tired most of the time. In the afternoon, I was extremely tired, and I wasn't really doing any exercise at all. I had in the past tried various other approaches to losing weight and getting fitter, but never really stuck to any of them. So Adam and I became introduced to each other about 6 months ago now, and I decided that I would go ahead and try Adam's program, not least because it was also recommended very highly to me by two former colleagues of mine, whom I have a lot of respect for. And so I thought, well, if these guys think it's a good thing, I'm sure it will be. And I am delighted that I made that decision.
Nice. Again, it's I remember that it's there's a little group of you. I didn't know that you were all connected, but it's really randomly. Do you know so and so? Oh yeah, I know them. So yeah, it's a small world. It's a small world out there on LinkedIn.
It's nice because I've been reintroduced to them, and it's good to make contact again as well.
That's it. Nice. So when we, I know that you had the recommendations from your friends and your old colleagues as well. But when we first had that conversation, did you have any reservations? Like, were you apprehensive at all about anything?
Yeah, I didn't know you. You live in a different country from me. Obviously, there is a financial consideration. It's money very well spent, by the way, as far as I'm concerned. and you just don't know. You're never 100% sure until you try something. Also, having tried various different things, even in the last few years, I've joined the gym and various things like that, but nothing really seemed to work, or I wasn't really sticking at anything, and I had my doubts about whether it would really work, but I wanted to give it a go, to try to make it the kind of difference I was looking for.
Nice. What were the things that you tried in the past?
Well, I've had diets, been on diets. Years ago, I was on the Atkins diet, I remember, which did actually work, but had very unpleasant side effects as well. And I have been, in the last couple of years, a member of a local gym. But the thing about all those things are they're kind of one-dimensional. With the diet, you're only looking at the diet, the food, and the nutrition, and it becomes a bit of a chore. And it's kind of got unpleasantness around it, because all it is depriving you of eating the things you like, it seemed. And with the gym, it's you get up in the morning and then you think, oh, I've got to get changed and go to the gym sometime today, and it becomes a chore. Whereas with the Back in Charge blueprint, it's not like that. It's a complete way of life, and it kind of builds momentum up within itself that carries you along. So, for example, first thing in the morning, the first thing I do is the hydration part of the morning routine, which I very much enjoy. And that's it. The day is set up, based on the Back in Charge blueprint, and throughout the day there is exercise involved, plus, and there is nutrition, obviously, involved as well. But it's all part of an overall way of life, lifestyle, that also has certainly almost immediately started to deliver very, very significant results, which obviously, once the results start coming in, the motivation
kicks in again, doesn't it?
That's itself. It. Yeah.
Nice. So let's talk about it. So, like, you started, like three and a bit months ago. We've done this. How, like, let's tell us. So where were you, like, how different are you now from when you first started? Like, what have the results been for you so far?
Yeah, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say it's been life-changing. And I don't say things like that, very often. In fact, I don't think I ever have before. So I have much more energy. Previously, in the morning, I didn't really want, there didn't seem to be an awful lot of point in getting up, if I didn't have an urgent project to do, particularly that moment. But now I'm very keen to get up and get started and do the morning routines on the Back in Charge blueprint. There's quite a lot of walking involved, which is great. I mean, walking is, I didn't used to do that at all anymore, but I live about 1 minute's walk from the beach here at the promenade. And it's great. So today, every day I'm looking forward to, getting out there and when it's not pouring with rain, at least, having a good stretch, along the beach and back. And it's not just that, it's not just an investment of time in walking. I find that when I'm out there walking and, taking exercise, I'm doing a lot of thinking as well. And that's helping me in all other aspects of work, particularly with, with my work, with things like the kind of creative input that I need to develop. I get all sorts of ideas when I'm out walking, so that's great. And the nutrition side of it is based on looking at calories and proteins, and I find that I'm able to eat very happily, enough to keep me content and full, in a way which also has made quite a significant difference to what I look like.
Well, yeah, that's it. But again, that's the reason why you started, because you were saying that you wanted to lose weight.
Oh yeah.
So then you've now lost the weight, but then you've got the added bonuses of you know,
Yes.
more energy. You know, you're now being, you know, now you're going out for those walks. You're taking the time to, instead of just sitting at your desk all day.
Yeah.
You're now being able to be more productive and more creative as well.
Yeah.
So it's a positive trade-off.
Yeah, I say it's a lifestyle change, really. My lifestyle has changed radically since I started, and I didn't really anticipate that happening. But looking back on it, it certainly has. I've lost 16.5 kilos since we started, which is about 36 pounds or 2.5 stone.
2.5 stone, right?
I went on holiday recently, and my suitcase, my large suitcase, I think was about 15 kilos. And I think, wow, you know, I'm lighter by more than that suitcase, which I had to drag around. And you know, so I can see, you know, that alone tells me, you know, what a big difference it's made. And that obviously is why I feel much more energetic, because I'm not carrying all that lot around with me everywhere.
Nice. So what then has been the difference? Like, what's been the difference from you know, what you would have done in the past, like going on a diet, you know, like you said, you did Atkins and, you know, all of those sorts of things. What's the difference, would you say, has been fundamentally different between going on a diet, going to the gym, but then the Back in Charge blueprint? What's been the biggest difference for you?
Well, the back in charge, it does two things. First of all, I like the way in which it layers activities and elements on. So, in fact, in the first week, I was speaking to one of my former colleagues. I met him for coffee, who's been on the program. I said, "Look, no, it doesn't seem to. I don't seem to be doing anything different, really. You know, is this it?" And he said, "Oh no, it does change, but you know that's the whole idea. It starts off, you know, it doesn't sort of suddenly throw you into, you know, going to the gym, you know, 5 days a week or anything like that. It picks up where it kind of joins onto you in a sort of continuous way. And also there's another major dimension to the Back in Charge blueprint, which is the psychological side, and the elements like I don't want to give too much away about the program.
No, go for it.
The meditation side, you know, which I thought I would always have kind of thought, oh yeah, it's a bit, you know,
bit woo-woo.
Yeah, but it has made a very big difference. I really look forward to doing that, and it certainly does start to help enormously. And the exercises which are set out in the program, which ask me to think very deeply, and it can be a little bit difficult at times, about what I really want, you know, to be in the future, how I want to change for the future, and why I want to change. You know, what the rewards of that long-term change are going to be, and by going through it in the way that you tell me to, you know, it's not a case of just thinking of it. You write it down and consider it deeply, and it sticks there. You know, I found it sticks there, and that's why it doesn't feel like it, although there is I'm doing quite a lot of things differently, a huge amount differently than I used to on a daily basis. None of it feels like a chore or a kind of you know, bit of a pain that I just feel I have to go through. It's happening quite naturally, and I want to do it because I'm getting better all the time, really.
Yeah, and you are. You know, like we're really seeing that. Like now, it's starting to really kick in. So that's really good. Now, I had a few comments come in. Kels has just said, I like that analogy of it, layering the habits.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we do, don't we? You know, especially now, like today's a good, you know, like with the 23rd of January, you know, a lot of people would have started January the 1st doing everything all at once.
Yes.
Making lots and lots of changes, and you know, maybe they're starting to feel a bit overwhelmed and stressed and anxious with trying to keep it up, and the motivation's now starting to dip.
Yeah.
But like you said, is that we meet you where you're at, and we just take you on that gradual journey. So
Yeah, quite the opposite. My motivation is getting stronger all the time.
Yeah,
Whereas before, as you say, the motivation, you might keep it up for a couple of weeks, couple of months, but eventually you get fed up with it, or you kind of make up excuses for not doing it. Um, in this program, the motivation to do it is getting stronger still all the time, and I'm pretty sure I'll always do it. I'll always follow the principles.
that's it. That was my next question. That's my next question. I was
Right.
like, do you feel that like what you're doing now, is going to be easy for you to maintain in the future going forwards?
I think it's going to become easier. It becomes easier all the time. I mean, things like one of the big challenges, I suppose, in my particular case, earlier in the program was the nutrition. Like cutting down on the food and drink a little bit. But then I realised now that how I used to eat and drink was just habit. It wasn't necessary for nutrition or for feeling good. On the contrary, it just used to make me tired, I think,
Yeah.
and grumpy. Um, so, but it was quite a big change to lifestyle change that was,
That's
and
it.
so that was difficult in a way. But because the results were coming through on the scales every day, I was able to work through that, and it's now becoming easier. In fact, sort of problem. In fact, I think this week I'm below my calorie limit by quite some way.
Cool.
And I'm very happy with that too.
Yeah. I mean, and you've still got energy and all of that,
Oh,
and that's it. Yeah.
more. Yeah,
Yeah.
much more. Yeah,
But look at that cycle that you were in before. You were overeating, you were over drinking. It was making you tired. You
yeah,
were grumpy. And then what happens is when we then get grumpy and we're tired, we then look to food and drink to then get more energy. But in fact, it's just a negative cycle.
yes,
But now you're getting more energy, you're chirpier,
yeah,
and now you're losing weight, and that's it. You're feeling good.
yeah,
So that's
and
good.
yeah, much more positive, much more creative, really, as well. So
Yeah.
lots
Nice.
of
Nice.
much better ideas about all
That's
sorts of
it.
things.
That's it. Right, we've got that's it. We got another guy. We got some guy writing a comment. Mike Newton.
Oh,
Good to see you, Mike. Yeah. So Mike he's been in the program as well. So he's one of the people that you
he
knew.
is. Mike is one of the very well respected. He used to be my boss for a few years. Quite a long time ago now. It was about 20 years ago, I think. But yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Top guy.
it's been great to be reintroduced to him too.
That's it. That's it. And he's saying great stuff, Paul. Well done. And he like for him as well because he's been on the journey, he's still on it.
Yeah,
And if you keep going, the way will continue. So that's
yeah.
really nice. So thanks, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Cool. So, what would you say, like, to anyone that's watching this that's curious about the Back in Charge blueprint? What would you say to those people that they've tried diets, they've tried going to the gym, and yes, they lose weight, but then it's hard to maintain, and it always goes back on, or even more some. What would you say to those people?
I say that this is a lot. The Back in Charge program is a lot different from that because, as I said earlier, that's kind of one-dimensional. You're only concentrating if you go to the gym on one aspect, or even if you also combine that with diet. It's two aspects which are both kind of in themselves potentially chores and negatives, and that's why they're difficult to maintain, I think. Whereas with this, it does include exercise, obviously, it does include nutrition, but it's wrapped up in a complete lifestyle approach and with the psychology behind it, which makes those things not seem like chores and enables them to, enables you to keep it up much more easily. But in terms of considering the program, the number one thing I would say is that you try and speak to somebody. Well, first of all, speak to Adam because you can have a good chat with him about it, and there's no pressure or commitment from him at all. And also, very importantly, if you know anybody else who's been on it, like I was very fortunate to know, speak to them and get some feedback from them, people you trust and understand, who understand you as well. And if you not in that fortunate position, then you're very welcome to speak to me, or I'm sure others on the program, who would generally be very happy to answer any of the questions you might have.
That's it. Nice one. Thank you. And again, just continuing that, please, go to the website www.backinchargeblueprint.com/results, where you're going to see a lot more videos just like this one, but with different people that have been through the program as well. And you probably will see someone on there that you may know. So Paul, I'm just really pleased, really pleased for you. You've had a really good journey.
Yeah.
Seeing you from where you were when you first started to where you are now,
yeah,
but also where you're going to be in the future.
Yeah.
That's
really... the journey is I think it's only really starting, actually.
Yeah.
Because although I've done, I've been introduced to all the aspects of it from scratch. It's only been 3 or 4 months, so hopefully there are many years of it ahead.
That's it.
And as that goes on, there will be, I'm sure, increasing. At the moment, the results are very, very steadily positive every week, and I hope that continues to be the case for a good while yet, because I've got quite a long way to go before I actually reach my final target, but that is quite a stretch target. So,
but
sure
you're on the journey. That's the main thing.
And when I first started, I thought, well, I'll never get there, but I think I probably will now. Before this time next year.
Yeah, that's it. That belief is growing. So just keep going, and you're going to get there.
Yeah.
Nice one. Well, thank you for taking the time out this morning to come and share your journey. I've really, really appreciate it.
My pleasure indeed.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a good day.